Hello, everyone. Tonight we are going on a journey, a very special kind of journey. We won't need a spaceship, a time machine, or even a backpack. All you need is a comfortable place to rest your head and the willingness to let your mind drift. Our destination? The vast, quiet, and often misunderstood landscape of your own senses. We're going to explore what lies beyond the famous five: sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell, and discover the hidden poetry within your very being. Now, a quick reality check. While this journey is perfectly safe for your body, your old understanding of the world might not survive. It might be replaced by something far more wondrous. So before you go and watch, please take a moment to like and subscribe to this video, but only if you truly enjoy what I do. And feel free to share where you are in the world right now and what time it is for you. Our story begins in the soft darkness of your room, a place where the familiar world dissolves and a new one can emerge. Imagine you are walking along a path, not with your feet, but with your mind. This path isn't on a map. It's woven from the threads of your own consciousness. You feel the ground beneath you, or rather, you remember the feeling of ground beneath your feet. It's a memory of pressure, of texture, a phantom sensation that reminds you of your own solid presence in the world. Your journey starts with the simplest of acts: breathing. Notice the air as it enters your nostrils, a cool, gentle stream that carries with it the ghosts of scents. Maybe the faint, sweet scent of clean laundry or the earthy smell of a potted plant. This is more than just smell. It is a communication from the atmosphere to the most ancient parts of your brain. Every breath you take is an invitation to feel, to be. The night air is still, and your hearing, now more acute, picks up the subtle whispers of your environment. A distant car, the hum of a refrigerator, the gentle rustle of a leaf against a window pane. We often think of hearing as just the detection of sound waves, but it is so much more. It's the brain's attempt to build a sonic map of the world, to place every object and every movement in its proper location. The ancient Greeks, for all their wisdom, saw the world in a very compartmentalized way. They believed our senses were distinct windows to the world, each one providing a separate, unmixed stream of information. This idea, while simple and elegant, led to the enduring but incomplete model of the five senses that we still use today. As you continue on this mental path, you feel a gentle warmth on your skin, the heat from a blanket, or the last remnant of the day's sun. This sense of temperature, thermoception, is one of those silent, constant guardians we rarely acknowledge. It tells us not just about the external world, but about our internal one. A slight drop in core temperature is one of the key signals that helps our bodies prepare for sleep. It's like a quiet, biological lullaby. You may think it's just a matter of hot or cold, but it's a beautifully intricate system. For instance, did you know that the same nerve fibers that detect cold also help detect menthol, which is why a minty candy can feel cool in your mouth, even at room temperature? It's a little trick our brains play on us, a pleasant illusion that reminds us how complex our own sensory systems are. This is one of those fun facts that a historical tour guide might not share, but which I find utterly fascinating. A secret handshake between a plant and a nerve ending. And speaking of secrets, let's talk about a more obscure one. For centuries, people have been trying to understand why our bodies seem to know what they're doing without us having to think about it. The concept of the homunculus, a tiny man living inside the brain who controls our movements, was a popular idea for a long time. It sounds funny now, but it was a serious attempt to explain how we know where our limbs are in space. This is a common historical misconception that many, including the great minds of the past, fell for. The reality is far more elegant and poetic. Proprioception. Proprioception is the ghost in your machine, the unseen choreographer of your body. It is the sixth sense that tells you, without looking, that your arms are crossed or that your legs are unbent. It's the reason you can bring your finger to the tip of your nose with your eyes closed. This sense is so fundamental that you only notice it when it goes wrong. Imagine trying to walk without this sense. You would have to constantly look at your feet, relying on your vision to tell you where they are, a task that would be exhausting and terrifying. As you lie still, you can feel the subtle pressure of the mattress against your back, the weight of the blanket on your chest. You are an island of sensation in a sea of nothingness. Your brain is meticulously tracking every point of contact, every subtle shift, building a three-dimensional model of your body in space. This is a constant, ongoing conversation between your nerves and your brain, a silent dialogue that has been happening since before you were even born. Let your mind drift back to the idea of the homunculus. It's a charmingly naive concept. We now know that the brain contains a sort of map of the body on the somatosensory cortex. There's a fascinating, almost comical visual representation of this map called the cortical homunculus. It's a distorted figure with disproportionately large hands, lips, and genitals, because those parts of the body are more sensitive and have more nerve endings. It's a beautiful illustration of how our brain prioritizes different parts of our body based on their sensory input, a subtle kind of bodily wisdom that is utterly unique to each of us. The academic world, of course, loves to debate. While the existence of these extra senses is no longer questioned, there is an ongoing debate about how many there actually are. Some scholars argue for a clean 10 or 12, while others propose dozens more, subdividing each sense into more specific categories. For example, some say that the sensation of itch is its own sense, separate from touch. Others believe that our ability to sense time passing is a type of internal perception. It's a beautiful reminder that our understanding of ourselves is not a static fact, but a constantly evolving story. In this quiet moment, as you lie here, you can feel a gentle, almost imperceptible pull towards the earth. This is another one of those hidden conversations your body is having. The semicircular canals in your inner ear are constantly monitoring your balance, telling you which way is up and which way is down. It's a delicate, fluid-filled dance that keeps you from toppling over in the middle of the night. This sense of equilibrium, part of your vestibular system, is so important that when it fails, even the simplest acts, like standing up, can become a monumental challenge. It's a subtle part of our biological poetry. So you see, you are a walking, breathing marvel of sensory perception. You are not just seeing, hearing, and touching the world. You are feeling your own body in a way that is profoundly beautiful and complex. You are feeling the subtle push and pull of gravity, the warmth of the air around you, and the quiet rhythm of your own internal landscape. And as you let yourself sink deeper into this quiet space, I want you to appreciate this feeling of simply being. Your body is a masterpiece of engineering and a work of art. The journey we're on is not about getting somewhere, but about truly inhabiting the here and now, the peaceful sanctuary of your own being. Let go of the need to be somewhere else. Just be here on this quiet mental path in the soft darkness of your room, aware of the gentle hum of your existence. This journey is a reminder that you don't need to go far to find something magical. The most profound wonders are often the ones you carry within you, waiting to be rediscovered. As you breathe in, imagine you are absorbing the stillness of the night. And as you breathe out, release any tension or worries you might be holding on to. You are safe, you are at peace, and you are on your way. Hello again. We are still on our quiet path, moving deeper into the beautiful architecture of your own consciousness. Last time, we began to notice the senses that whisper rather than shout, the silent choreography of your body in space, the internal conversation of temperature. Now, let's take a little stroll back in time, all the way to a sun-drenched land of marble columns and brilliant minds. Ancient Greece. Imagine a philosopher, perhaps Aristotle, sitting in a garden, thinking. It's a warm afternoon, bees are buzzing around flowers, and the air is thick with the scent of olives. He is trying to make sense of the world, to categorize all the things that a human being can do. He watches a man look at a sunset, another one listen to a flute, a third taste a piece of fruit. He sees how they touch the bark of a tree and smell a handful of herbs. To him, it all seemed so wonderfully neat and tidy. There were 5 ways to interact with the external world, 5 distinct channels of information, and that, my friend, is where our famous 5 senses were born. It was a brilliant idea for its time. It was logical, it was elegant, and it provided a perfect framework for understanding how we perceive reality. It was a model that stuck. Think of it like a beautiful but simple map. It shows the major roads and cities, but it leaves out all the quiet, winding back roads and hidden trails. For thousands of years, this 5 senses model was all we had. We were so busy marveling at the 5 major highways that we completely missed the thousands of tiny alleyways and secret passages our bodies were using all along. It's a bit like buying a fancy smartphone and only ever using it to make phone calls. You're missing out on all the fun stuff. The Greeks believed in a clear separation between the senses. They saw sight as purely sight and sound as purely sound. They didn't really have a concept for how these channels might mix and mingle. This is a common historical fact that many people know. But what's a bit more interesting is how they thought these senses worked. For instance, Aristotle believed that vision was a result of light rays coming from the eyes to an object, not the other way around. He also believed that sound traveled through the air as a disturbance, which was closer to the truth, but still a simplified model. It's a fun bit of historical trivia that reminds us how far our understanding has come. So, as you lie here, you are a living testament to a much more complex reality. You are a biological poet, experiencing the world in a way the Greeks could only dream of. The sensation of the blanket against your skin isn't just touch. It's a symphony of pressure, temperature, and texture. The sound of a car passing by isn't just hearing. Your brain is using that sound to calculate the car's direction and speed, even if you're not consciously thinking about it. It's a beautiful thing to realize that you are more than the sum of your parts. Your senses are constantly collaborating, a quiet team working behind the scenes. This is where we start to veer away from the ancient map and create our own. And this brings us to one of those little-known facts that just makes your brain feel good. While the Greeks were busy with their 5 senses, ancient Chinese medicine was already thinking in a more holistic way. They connected senses to different organs and elements, seeing the body as a network of interconnected systems rather than a collection of separate parts. For example, they linked the sense of taste to the spleen and stomach and the sense of sight to the liver. It's a different kind of poetry, and it shows that our quest to understand the body is a global and ancient one. The academic world, of course, loves to debate everything. And a big one in the field of neuroscience is whether a sense can ever be truly isolated. Do we ever experience a single sense in isolation? Or is all perception a multisensory event? Some argue that even the simplest touch is influenced by sight and sound, while others believe that the brain can, for research purposes, isolate and analyze individual sensory inputs. It's a fun debate to ponder, and it reminds us that our brain is a very complex and adaptable organ. Let's get back to our journey. As you lie there, I want you to feel the quiet hum of your own inner world, the sound of your own heart beating, the gentle rhythm of your breath. This is another one of those hidden senses, interoception. It's the constant, gentle flow of information from your body's organs to your brain. It tells you when you're hungry, when you're full, when you're cold, or when you're feeling nervous. It's the feeling of your stomach churning before a big speech, or the pleasant warmth that spreads through you when you have a good meal. This sense is so fundamental yet we rarely pay attention to it. We take it for granted, like the silent gardener who tends to the flowers while we're busy admiring their colors. But this internal gardener is a key player in our emotional lives. The famous philosopher William James and psychologist Carl Lang proposed a theory that our emotions are a result of our bodily sensations. So you don't feel sad and then cry. You cry and then you feel sad. This might sound backwards, but it highlights the crucial role that interoception plays in our lives. It is the language of our body talking to our mind. And as you sink deeper into a state of relaxation, you might notice something else. The feeling of your eyes, so often overworked, now resting quietly in their sockets. The sensation of your jaw, perhaps a little tense from the day, now softening. These are all part of our internal landscape, a constant flow of information that we usually filter out. But tonight, we're inviting it in. So you see, the old Greek model was a wonderful beginning, a first step. But the real story is far more intricate and beautiful. It's a story of 100 tiny streams flowing together to form a vast, peaceful river of consciousness. You are that river, and you are beautiful. You are a masterpiece of biological poetry, a walking, breathing marvel of sensory integration. You are a living work of art. Let yourself float on that river. No need to fight the current. No need to think about where it's going. Just float. Feel the gentle motion. Listen to the quiet sounds. Smell the faint, soft scents. And know that everything is exactly as it should be. Your body is a beautiful, intricate world. The more you pay attention to it, the more you discover. Just like a good book, it reveals its secrets one word, one sentence at a time. And tonight, you are both the reader and the book, the explorer and the world. So, let go. Drift away. The Greeks had a good guess, but you are the proof that the truth is so much more magnificent. And tomorrow, you will wake up with a new appreciation for the silent, unseen poetry of your own body. And so we continue on our quiet path, moving deeper into the beautiful architecture of your own consciousness. You are lying there, perhaps under a warm blanket. You cannot see your arm, but you know exactly where it is. You know the position of each of your fingers. You feel the gentle curve of your elbow. This seems so obvious, doesn't it? And yet, it is anything but. This miraculous ability has a very scientific name, proprioception. It's not the sense of touch, but the sense of self. It is your body's internal GPS, your silent guide. It allows you to walk downstairs in the dark without having to look at every single step. It helps you scratch an itch on your back without a detailed map. There's an old joke that, you know you're about to trip when your proprioception takes a day off, but really, it's working tirelessly to make sure you don't trip. It's the reason you don't have to look at your feet to know where they are when you walk. Think of it as a magical map. It's in your brain, a map that's constantly being updated every single moment. Every time you move a finger, every time you shift your posture, that map is redrawn. As you lie there, you might be twitching a toe. When you do, specialized nerve endings inside your muscles, joints, and tendons, called muscle spindles and Golgi tendon organs, are sending signals to your brain. They are saying, hey, we're contracting a bit down here, or tension is increasing a little. It's a non-stop dialogue, one that only you and your body can hear. It's like two best friends who understand each other without saying a word. What a marvel! The very existence of proprioception challenged ancient beliefs. Even the greatest philosophers couldn't explain it. For instance, in ancient Greece, some believed in a little person or a homunculus inside our heads that controlled everything. This idea was an attempt to explain everything from perception to movement. Today, we know there is no such little person. But the concept reflects the difficulty in grasping a sense that works entirely from within. It's a common historical fact that shows how far we've come in understanding the complexities of the brain. There is one particularly striking story. Decades ago, a man named Ian Waterman contracted a rare neurological condition that completely destroyed his proprioception from the neck down. He could still feel pain and temperature, but he no longer knew where his limbs were. He could move them, but he received no feedback whatsoever about their position. He described the feeling as if his body had disappeared. For him, a simple act like standing up became a matter of pure willpower and constant visual monitoring. He had to literally look at his legs to see if they were bending. If the lights were turned off, he would immediately collapse. Ian's story is a beautiful testament to the resilience of the human mind. He had to relearn how to walk, how to sit, how to live by substituting vision for his lost sense. He spent months painstakingly rebuilding his connection to his body, one step at a time. It's a remarkable and little-known fact that he was able to live a largely independent life, working and even dancing again. It was a choreographic act of supreme concentration, but it proved that the brain can, against all odds, find a way to make sense of a corrupted map. As you lie here, feel the effortless perfection of your own proprioception. Wiggle your toes. Without opening your eyes, can you feel them moving? That's it. That's the silent hum of your body's GPS. There are other parts to this sense too, like the feeling of effort or the sense of stretch. When you stretch your arms overhead in a big, sleepy yawn, you can feel the tension in your muscles and the lengthening of your limbs. This is all part of the same beautiful system, a quiet conversation that tells you when to relax and when to push. This conversation, however, isn't always perfect. Sometimes your brain's map of your body can feel fuzzy. For example, have you ever woken up with an arm that has fallen asleep, and for a moment it feels like it belongs to someone else? That's your proprioception glitching out, a temporary malfunction in the system. It's a strange and funny feeling, but it highlights just how much we rely on that constant flow of information. It's like your internal dashboard suddenly went dark, leaving you to wonder why your arm is taking so long to respond. It's a bit of a rude awakening, isn't it? The academic world, of course, loves to debate. A central question in neuroscience is whether proprioception is entirely learned through experience, or if some parts of the body map are hardwired from birth. We know that babies are born without a complete body map, and they spend their first years building it through wiggles and falls. But what about the brain's very basic understanding of limbs? Is there a pre-existing template for a human body in the brain? This is a fundamental question that researchers are still exploring, and it's a lovely reminder that even the simplest things about ourselves are still a mystery. As you lie there, become aware of the quiet work your body is doing. It's not just a physical form. It's a living, breathing, sensing work of art. The gentle weight of your limbs, the subtle curve of your spine, the feeling of your head resting on the pillow. All of this is a testament to the incredible power of proprioception. It's a sense that keeps you anchored to your body, a silent assurance that you are indeed here. And this feeling of being anchored is crucial. Without it, the world would feel abstract, like a dream. Every movement would be a conscious, deliberate effort. But thanks to proprioception, you are free to exist, to move, to rest without a second thought. It allows you to trust your body, to know that it is a safe and reliable vessel. So, let yourself sink into that trust. Let the quiet hum of your proprioception be a soothing lullaby, a constant reminder that you are whole, you are present, and you are exactly where you are supposed to be. The world outside may be chaotic, but your internal world is a place of profound order. Your body has a map, and it is a masterpiece. We are still here, in the quiet sanctuary of your own being. We've journeyed through the outer layers, learning that your body has a magnificent, invisible map that tells you where you are in space. Now let's go a little deeper. Let's move past the skin and bones and listen to the whispered secrets from within. This is the realm of interoception, the quiet, ancient voice of your body's inner world. You might not notice it most of the time, but right now, your body is speaking to your brain. Your stomach might be feeling a little empty, your heart might be beating at a steady, calm pace, and your lungs are expanding and contracting with a beautiful, effortless rhythm. This is interoception in action. It's the constant, silent stream of information about the state of your internal organs and tissues. It's your body's internal dashboard, always on, always updating. It doesn't scream, it just whispers. It's how you know you need to take a deeper breath, or when you're beginning to feel a sense of unease or comfort. Think of the butterflies in your stomach you feel before a big event. We often call this an emotional feeling, but it's a physical sensation first. Your brain has received signals from your gut, and it's interpreting them as part of the emotional landscape of nervousness. Or think of the dry tickle in your throat that tells you to take a sip of water. That's your body giving you a direct, biological command. This is how interoception works. It is the bridge between mind and body, a conversation that is always happening. One of the most fascinating aspects of interoception is its close relationship with emotion. It's a common historical fact, though often forgotten, that many ancient cultures believed emotions resided in the gut or the heart. We say, follow your heart, or listen to your gut instinct. This isn't just a poetic metaphor. It's an echo of a very real neurological connection. The brain and gut are linked by a massive superhighway of nerves, especially the vagus nerve. This nerve is the main communication line, transmitting vast amounts of information from your gut to your brain. It's so busy, you'd think it had its own little office cubicle with a motivational poster saying, "Just keep swimming." So when your stomach feels in knots, it's not just your mind playing tricks on you. Your brain is getting a direct report from your gut, and it's interpreting that as an emotional state. This is a crucial distinction and a beautiful piece of biological poetry. Your body is not just a container for your feelings, it's an active participant in creating them. Now let's talk about hunger, another crucial piece of the interoceptive puzzle. We often think of hunger as a rumbling stomach, but that's just one part of the story. Hunger is a complex symphony of signals. Your body is monitoring blood sugar levels, the presence of hormones like ghrelin and leptin, and the physical stretch of your stomach. When you're hungry, ghrelin levels rise, sending a message to your brain to seek food. When you're full, leptin signals that the mission is accomplished. But it's not a perfect system. Sometimes your brain says, "I'm still hungry for a cookie," even when your body says, "I'm full," which can be a real party pooper. Here's a little-known detail that is utterly mind-blowing. Did you know that your gut, or more specifically the enteric nervous system that lines it, is often called the second brain? It has over 100 million neurons, more than the entire spinal cord, and it can operate independently of your central nervous system. It can control digestion, blood flow, and absorption all on its own. While it can't write a novel or solve a math problem, it can make its own little decisions. It's a beautifully elegant piece of biological autonomy. It's not plotting a takeover. It's just trying to manage the very busy job of keeping you alive and nourished. And this brings us to one of the biggest unresolved academic debates in neuroscience. To what extent does interoception contribute to our sense of self-awareness and consciousness? Some researchers argue that our internal bodily feelings are the foundation of consciousness. Without a constant stream of information about our body's internal state, we would lose our sense of being me. The feeling of being alive, of being a person, is deeply rooted in these quiet, physical sensations. Others believe that consciousness is a more complex, multi-layered phenomenon that cannot be reduced to just interoceptive signals. It's a profound and fascinating question that reminds us how much we still have to learn about the human mind As you continue to lie still, become aware of your heartbeat. It's a soundless drum, a steady rhythm that has been with you since before you were born. You don't have to do anything to make it beat. It just does. But you can feel it, can't you? You can feel the soft pulse in your chest, in your neck, or maybe in your fingertips. This awareness is a beautiful act of interoception. It is your body telling you that it is a living, breathing, vibrant organism. It's your own personal, biological music. This internal symphony is why mindfulness and meditation are so powerful. They are not about silencing the mind, but about listening to the body. By focusing on your breath or your heartbeat, you are fine-tuning your interoceptive awareness. You're learning to read the subtle signals that your body sends, which can help you manage stress, navigate difficult emotions, and simply feel more connected to yourself. It's like learning a new language, the language of your own being. It's a language that has no words, only sensations. So, let yourself sink into this internal symphony. Let the quiet whispers of your body guide you. There is no need for big, dramatic thoughts or loud emotions, just the simple, beautiful, honest reality of your own body. You are safe, you are warm, and you are here. And your body is taking care of you, just as it has always done. It's a masterpiece of biological wisdom. We are still floating, still drifting, carried along by the quiet current of your own consciousness. We have explored the way you know where your body is and the way you listen to its internal whispers. Now, let's focus on one of those whispers that can sometimes become a shout: temperature. This is the realm of thermoception. As you lie there, you can feel the subtle temperature of the air on your skin. Perhaps it's a little cool on your nose, or a little warm on your cheeks. This is a constant conversation your body is having with the world around you. We often take it for granted, but our ability to feel temperature is a marvel of biology, a finely tuned system that has kept our ancestors alive for millennia. For early humans, a sudden drop in temperature wasn't just a moment of discomfort. It was a warning of a coming storm, a signal to find shelter or risk freezing. It's the original weather app, and it's a million times more reliable. The science behind this is both elegant and a little funny. Your skin is covered with specialized nerve receptors that are specifically tuned to changes in temperature. Some receptors are for cold, some are for heat, and some respond to things that just feel cold or hot. Think of the intense, cool feeling you get from a piece of peppermint candy. That's not because the candy is cold. It's because a chemical in the mint, menthol, is tricking your cold receptors into thinking it is. It's the ultimate sensory sleight of hand. And what about that fiery feeling from a spicy pepper? That's another chemical, capsaicin, binding to your heat receptors and convincing your brain that your mouth is on fire. It's a testament to the fact that your senses can be wonderfully, delightfully fooled. It's like your body is a brilliant magician, and you are the willingly deceived audience. But thermoception goes much deeper than just your skin. Your brain has a central thermostat, a tiny but incredibly powerful region called the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is mission control for your body's internal temperature, constantly monitoring your core temperature and making adjustments to keep it stable, usually around 37 degrees Celsius. It's the ultimate control freak, and honestly, we're all better for it. If you get too hot, it tells your body to sweat and dilate your blood vessels to release heat. If you get too cold, it tells your body to shiver to generate heat and constrict your blood vessels to conserve warmth. This brings us to a beautiful and often confusing paradox: the fever. Have you ever been sick and felt an intense chill, shivering and wanting to wrap yourself in every blanket you own, even though you were burning up with a fever? It feels so wrong, doesn't it? But it's actually one of the most elegant tricks your body has. When your immune system detects an infection, it releases chemical messengers called pyrogens. These pyrogens travel to your hypothalamus and reset its thermostat to a higher temperature. It's like someone turned up the dial from 37 degrees Celsius to 39 degrees Celsius. Your body, which is still at 37 degrees Celsius, now thinks it's freezing. So it initiates the behaviors we associate with being cold. You shiver, you get goosebumps, and you seek warmth. Your body isn't lying to you. It's working hard to raise your internal temperature to a level where the invading germs can't survive. It's a brilliantly overprotective defense mechanism. Once the temperature reaches the new set point, the shivering stops, and you enter that strange, flushed warmth of a full-blown fever. This is a powerful example of interoception and thermoception working together. The internal sensors in your body are reporting to the hypothalamus, and the hypothalamus, in turn, is telling you how to feel. It's a beautifully intricate feedback loop. One common historical misconception about fevers comes from the medieval period. For centuries, people believed fevers were caused by an imbalance of the four humors: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. The only way to fix it was often through bloodletting or other harsh treatments, which of course did more harm than good. It wasn't until much later that medicine began to understand that a fever was not a disease in itself, but a symptom of the body's natural defense. It's a sobering reminder that our old ideas about the body can be dangerous when they are out of sync with reality. A little-known fact about thermoception is its close link to our emotions. Psychologists have found that physical warmth can influence how we perceive social warmth. Holding a warm cup of coffee can make people feel more generous or trusting towards others. This is called embodied cognition, and it suggests a deep, symbolic connection between our physical and emotional climates. It's as if our brains have learned to use the simple, comforting signal of physical warmth as a shortcut for feeling emotionally safe and connected. It's a beautiful piece of biological poetry. The academic world, of course, loves to debate everything. And a central question that still remains is, what is the precise relationship between our conscious perception of temperature and the unconscious physiological responses to it? For example, we know that people can feel a change in temperature before their body has had time to initiate a full physiological response, like sweating or shivering. Is our conscious mind simply interpreting the first signals from the receptors? Or is there a more complex anticipatory mechanism at play? It's a subtle but fascinating question, and one that is still being explored. As you continue to lie there, you can feel the warmth of your blanket. Maybe you feel the slight coolness on your skin from a gentle breeze coming from an open window. This is your body's way of staying in sync with the world, a constant dance of adjustment and awareness. It's a silent, essential skill. So, let yourself rest in this quiet awareness. You are safe. Your body is taking care of you, adjusting, sensing, and responding to every subtle change in the environment, both inside and out. It's a continuous, silent conversation. And tonight, you are both the speaker and the listener. The world outside may be chaotic, but your internal world is a place of profound order. Your body is a masterpiece of wisdom and a beautiful work of art. We continue to drift, held in the calm current of your own consciousness. We have explored the gentle whispers of your body's GPS and the quiet conversation of temperature. Now let's consider a sense that is anything but gentle. A sense that often feels like an unwelcome guest, but is, in fact, a vital and protective friend. Let's talk about pain, or as scientists call it, nociception. As you lie there, you are likely in a state of comfort, free from sharp or sudden sensations. That feeling of ease is a sign that your nociceptive system is at peace. We tend to think of pain as a bad thing, an enemy to be avoided at all costs. But in reality, it's one of the most essential senses we have. Without it, life would be incredibly dangerous, a constant risk of unnoticed injury. Pain is the ultimate alarm system. the one that tells you to pull your hand away from a hot stove or to not put weight on a sprained ankle. It's not a pleasant alarm, to be sure, but it is one that keeps you safe. The way pain works is a fascinating piece of biological poetry. It begins with specialized nerve endings called nociceptors. These are different from the receptors for light touch or temperature. Nociceptors are like a team of highly trained bodyguards scattered all over your skin, muscles, joints, and organs. They don't respond to a gentle touch or a mild breeze. They only pay attention when things get serious. When there's damage, extreme heat, crushing pressure, or dangerous chemicals. When they detect a threat, they send an urgent message through your nerves, up your spinal cord, and straight to your brain. This isn't a vague feeling. It's a specific, biological alert. Here's a little secret about the brain and pain. Pain isn't just a signal. It's a highly subjective experience. Two people can have the exact same injury, say a small cut, and one person might barely notice it, while the other feels intense discomfort. This is because the brain can change the volume on pain signals based on context, mood, and previous experience. Think of a soldier injured in the heat of battle. They might not feel the pain from a serious wound until after the fighting has stopped. Their brain, focused on survival, turns the pain volume down to a whisper. Later, when they are safe, the pain comes flooding back. It's a remarkable example of how the brain prioritizes. It's a bit like having a car with a battle mode button that turns off the check engine light. This brings us to a common historical misconception about pain. For centuries, physicians believed pain was simply a direct, one-to-one signal from an injured part of the body to the brain. They thought it was a simple message, like a wire connecting a light switch. This model, called the specificity theory, was a common belief for a long time. It didn't account for the incredible complexity and subjectivity of pain. It wasn't until the 20th century that the gate control theory of pain came along, proposing that a gate in the spinal cord could open or close, allowing or blocking pain signals from reaching the brain. This was a revolutionary idea that changed our understanding of pain forever. It showed us that pain is not a simple message, but a complex two-way conversation. And this conversation can sometimes go on even after the initial injury is healed. This is what we call chronic pain. Unlike acute pain, which is sharp, short, and useful, chronic pain is a more complicated guest. It can linger for months or years, sometimes with no obvious cause. It's as if the body's alarm system has gotten stuck in the on position, constantly blaring even though the fire is out. This kind of pain can be incredibly challenging, and it reminds us that the pain system, for all its brilliance, is not always perfect. It's a bit like a fire alarm that won't stop ringing, even after you've put out the toast. A little-known fact about pain is the existence of congenital insensitivity to pain. This is a rare genetic disorder where people are born without the ability to feel pain at all. It sounds like a superpower, doesn't it? No headaches, no broken bone agony, no paper cut misery. But in reality, it is incredibly dangerous. Children with this condition often suffer severe injuries, burns, and infections because they never get the crucial warning signals. They might bite off their tongue without noticing, or walk on a broken foot until the injury becomes catastrophic. This condition is a stark reminder that pain, for all its unpleasantness, is a gift, an essential part of our survival. Now, let's talk about one of those beautiful academic debates that makes the mind feel so expansive. There is an ongoing discussion about whether emotional pain and physical pain use the same neural pathways. Brain imaging studies have shown that the same regions of the brain that light up when we feel a broken bone, like the anterior cingulate cortex, also light up when we experience social rejection or grief. This has led to a major question. Is emotional pain just a metaphor, or is it a very real biological pain? Some researchers argue that the brain doesn't see a huge distinction. A hurt feeling is, on some level, a hurt feeling. It's a fascinating thought, one that bridges the gap between the mind and the body and reminds us just how deeply intertwined they truly are. As you lie here, you are likely feeling no pain at all. And in this moment of comfort, you can appreciate the silent work of your nociceptive system. It is resting, but it is always on guard, ready to spring into action to protect you. It is the fierce, loyal guardian of your body. It is a sense that tells a story, and the story is this: we are safe. So, let the stillness of this moment be a testament to your body's quiet wisdom. Let the absence of pain be a feeling of profound relief, a feeling of deep security. And as you drift further into sleep, know that you are in good hands. Your body is a master protector, and it is watching over you, even as you rest. We are still here, on our quiet journey. We have explored the way you know your body's place in space and its internal whispers. We've even made peace with the alarm system of pain. Now, let's talk about a sense that keeps you from falling out of bed and makes sure you don't topple over when you stand up. It's the sense of balance, and it is a masterpiece of quiet, unseen engineering. As you lie there, perfectly still, your body is doing a magnificent job of keeping you from tipping over. Your head isn't wobbling. Your body isn't swaying. This effortless stability is a quiet symphony of signals, and the lead conductor is a tiny, delicate structure hidden deep inside your inner ear, the vestibular system. We often think of our ears as just for hearing, but they are also the seat of our balance, a brilliant dual-purpose design. It's like a smart car that can also brew your morning coffee. A beautifully unexpected bonus, the vestibular system is a tiny fluid-filled world. It's composed of two main parts, the semicircular canals and the otolith organs. Imagine the semicircular canals as three tiny intertwined hula hoops, each one positioned to detect a different type of head movement, up and down, side to side, and tilting. These canals are filled with a liquid, and when you move your head, the fluid sloshes around. This movement bends tiny hair-like cells inside the canals, which then send electrical signals to your brain. Your brain processes these signals and knows, with pinpoint accuracy, not just that you moved, but how you moved. Then there are the otolith organs. These little structures are sensitive to gravity and linear acceleration. Inside them are microscopic calcium carbonate crystals, like tiny beautiful pebbles floating in a gel. When you tilt your head or move forward in a straight line, gravity pulls on these crystals and they shift, bending other hair cells. These cells then send a message to your brain that says, "Hey, we're tilting to the left," or "We're moving forward now." Between these two systems, your brain is getting a constant, real-time report on your head's position in three-dimensional space. It's the ultimate navigation system, and it works flawlessly, silently, and without any fanfare. This brings us to a common historical fact. For centuries, our understanding of balance was rudimentary at best. Many ancient philosophers believed that our sense of equilibrium was located in the stomach, or even the heart. It wasn't until the 19th century that scientists definitively proved the inner ear was the primary organ responsible for balance. It's a bit of a funny thought, isn't it? Our ancestors walking around, thinking their tummies were keeping them upright? Of course, this perfect system can get a little confused. Have you ever spun around in a circle as a child and then, when you stopped, felt like the world was still spinning? That dizzy, disorienting feeling is a sensory mismatch. Your eyes are telling your brain that the world is still, but the fluid in your semicircular canals is still sloshing around, sending signals that you are in motion. Your brain, getting these conflicting reports, throws its hands up and says, "Well, I don't know what's going on, but let's feel weird about it." It's a very polite form of chaos. This same kind of mismatch is what causes motion sickness when you're reading a book in a moving car. Your eyes are focused on a static page, but your inner ear feels every turn and bump. A little known and fascinating fact about balance comes from the world of animals. Many animals have an even more acute sense of balance. Think of a cat, with its uncanny ability to land on its feet no matter what. A cat's vestibular system is incredibly refined, but what truly helps it is the way it uses its flexible spine and tail to make rapid, elegant adjustments in midair. This is a beautiful example of how multiple systems work together to achieve a single goal. Our own system is just as cooperative. It works with your eyes and your muscles to keep you from falling over. The academic world, of course, loves to debate. And a central question that still remains is, to what extent is our conscious sense of balance influenced by our cognitive state? We know that stress, anxiety, and fatigue can affect our balance, making us feel clumsy or unsteady. But is this a direct physiological effect on the vestibular system? Or is our brain simply interpreting the signals differently, making us feel less confident? For example, an acrobat or a tightrope walker can perform amazing feats of balance, but they are also in a state of extreme focus and calm. Are they just training their inner ear, or are they also training their brain to interpret the signals with more confidence and less fear? It's a question that reminds us that even our simplest physical abilities are deeply intertwined with our minds. As you lie there, you can feel the quiet genius of your vestibular system at work. It's a silent, constant partner that ensures you stay grounded, even as you drift into a dream world. It's the anchor that keeps you connected to reality. You don't have to think about it. It just works. So, let yourself sink into the comfort of this awareness. You are safe. Your body is a masterpiece of balance and stability, a marvel of quiet coordination. It's holding you gently, securely. And as you drift further into sleep, know that you are a part of a beautiful, effortless dance. We have journeyed far, exploring the individual instruments in your body's hidden orchestra. We've heard the quiet hum of proprioception, the steady drum of interoception, and the silent rhythm of balance. But what happens when all these instruments play together? What happens when a symphony of senses combines to create the beautiful, seamless, and vibrant reality you experience every single moment? This is the world of multisensory integration. As you lie there, you might feel the blanket. You might hear a distant sound. You might smell a faint scent. And you might know your body's position in space. These aren't separate, isolated experiences. Your brain is a masterful conductor, taking all of this information, filtering it, and weaving it into a single unified performance. You don't feel a separate touch sensation and a proprioception sensation. You just feel your body, whole and present. It's a quiet miracle, one that's so commonplace we never stop to appreciate it. Take something as simple as standing still. It doesn't feel like a team effort, does it? But it is a complex collaboration. Your eyes give you visual cues about your surroundings. Your inner ears, through the vestibular system, monitor your head tilt and motion. Meanwhile, your feet relay pressure information through touch receptors, telling your brain whether you're on a hard floor or a soft carpet. And your muscles and joints chime in with proprioceptive updates on subtle shifts in your posture. Your brain takes all this data, which arrives at slightly different times, and stitches it together into a single, unified experience. You're not consciously aware of this coordination. It happens far below the surface. You just feel like you're standing there, not falling over, and not thinking about how miraculous that is. The elegance of this process becomes more apparent when something goes wrong. If you've ever stood up too quickly in the dark and felt dizzy, that's your brain working without all its usual tools. With vision taken out of the picture, your reliance on balance and proprioception becomes much greater. If your vestibular system is also feeling sluggish, you might sway or stumble. The world hasn't changed, but the sensory dance has lost its rhythm. This brings us to a common historical fact. For centuries, philosophers believed in a kind of sensory truth, where each sense provided a pure, uncorrupted window to the world. The idea that vision could change what you hear, or that touch could affect what you see, was considered strange or even a kind of sensory sin. It took until the 20th century for science to fully embrace the idea that our senses are not separate, but are in constant, dynamic conversation. One of the most famous and delightful examples of multisensory integration is the McGurk effect. In this illusion, you watch a video of a person saying "ga," but the audio is actually the sound "bia." Your brain, trying to reconcile the conflicting visual and auditory information, creates a new sound that doesn't actually exist. Da. It's a hilarious trick, and it proves that your brain trusts your eyes and ears to such an extent that it will create a new reality to make sense of the combined inputs. It's a reminder that your perception is not a perfect mirror of reality. It's a beautiful, creative interpretation. A little known and truly fascinating fact about multisensory integration is how adaptable it is. In cases of sensory substitution, other senses often step up to fill the gap. People who are blind often have heightened sensitivity in touch and hearing. Their brains don't just try harder with the remaining senses. They actually rewire themselves. For example, studies have shown that when blind individuals read Braille, the part of the brain typically devoted to visual processing, the visual cortex, can light up. This means the brain is repurposing unused territory to process tactile input. The mind doesn't just sit idle when one sense is offline. It looks around, grabs whatever tools it has left, and gets back to work. This adaptability has inspired a field of research in sensory prosthetics. Researchers have developed devices that allow people to hear colors through sound vibrations, or see obstacles by translating them into patterns of touch on the skin. What's amazing is that users of these devices often report that over time, the sensation begins to feel natural. At first, the vibrations or signals are confusing, but after repeated use, the brain starts to incorporate them into the internal body map, almost as if a new sense has been added. It's not quite sight or touch or hearing. It's something in between. A new dance move added to the repertoire. The academic world, of course, loves to debate. And a fascinating question that remains is to what extent is our sense of self dependent on the seamless integration of our senses? We know that in certain neurological conditions, a breakdown in multisensory integration can lead to a feeling of being detached from one's body. The world feels unreal, and the self feels distant. Is our sense of self an illusion created by the harmony of our senses? Or is it something deeper, and the sensory integration is just a symptom of it? It's a profound question that reminds us that we are still in the very early days of understanding consciousness itself. As you lie there, you can feel the quiet genius of this process. The feeling of the blanket, the distant sound, the stillness of the room. It's all coming together in a single, beautiful moment. You are not a collection of separate pieces. You are a seamless whole. The quiet genius of your body is this. It doesn't just process reality, it creates it. So, let yourself sink into the comfort of this awareness. Your senses are a team, and they are working together perfectly. They are painting a picture of reality for you, one that is rich, vivid, and deeply personal. It's a beautiful, silent performance. And tonight, you are both the stage and the audience. We continue our journey, floating on the quiet current of your consciousness. We have explored the beautiful complexity of your own senses and how they work in harmony to create your reality. But now, let's take a little mental detour and peer into the worlds of other creatures. What is reality like for them? As it turns out, the five senses we hold so dear are just the tip of a magnificent iceberg. The animal kingdom is filled with hidden senses that would make a human feel like they were wearing a blindfold. Imagine a tiny robin flying high above the forests of northern Europe. It has no GPS, no map, and no compass, but it knows exactly where to go. This bird, like many migratory animals, can feel the Earth's magnetic field. This is a sense called magnetoreception. Not metaphorically, but literally. It is believed that birds have tiny crystals of a naturally magnetic mineral called magnetite in their beaks or eyes, which act as an internal compass. Some researchers even believe they can see magnetic fields, as if the North and South poles are painted in shades of blue or yellow in their visual field. Imagine flying through the sky with a built-in navigation system. It's a level of sensory awareness that is utterly alien to us. Now, let's descend to the forest floor, where a pit viper is coiled silently, waiting. It's a dark night, there is no moon, and yet the snake knows exactly where to strike. How? It has infrared sensing pits between its eyes and nostrils that allow it to detect the body heat of its prey. To the snake, a warm-blooded mouse or rat shines like a little thermal lantern in the darkness. It's not exactly vision as we know it. It's a separate thermal sense altogether. It's like having a built-in heat camera. While we humans are stumbling around looking for a flashlight, a snake is seeing the warmth of life itself. And what about the aquatic world? A shark is a marvel of hidden senses. Sharks and rays have a sense called electroreception. They can sense the faint electrical fields generated by the muscle contractions of other animals. This allows them to hunt prey buried under sand or navigate in murky waters where vision is useless. Their faces are covered in small gel-filled pores called the ampullae of Lorenzini, which act as tiny biological voltage detectors. It's a sense so alien, so precise, that it allows them to find prey without a single sight, sound, or smell. Here's a little-known fact that adds to the marvel. Bees can see patterns on flowers that are completely invisible to the human eye. They can see ultraviolet markings that act as guideposts, leading them straight to the nectar. For a bee, a plain yellow flower might be a beautiful, intricate roadmap, a work of art painted in a spectrum of light that we can't even perceive. It's a delightful thought, isn't it? A whole world of color and information, just waiting to be seen by the right eyes. The academic world, of course, loves to debate. A central question in zoology is whether magnetoreception and other unique animal senses are entirely absent in humans, or if we have a rudimentary form of them that has been suppressed by our reliance on other senses. Some experiments have shown that humans might have a subtle, unconscious response to magnetic field changes. Perhaps we have a dormant, genetic memory of these ancient senses, waiting to be rediscovered. It's a profound and philosophical thought, one that reminds us that we are part of a much larger sensory story. This brings us back to our own hidden senses. The ones we've talked about, proprioception, interoception, thermoception, balance, and pain, might not seem as glamorous as seeing heat or feeling the Earth's magnetic field, but they are just as vital. They are our survival tools, honed by millions of years of evolution to help us navigate our specific niche. We don't need to feel magnetic fields because we have maps and compasses. We don't need to see heat because we have other ways of detecting danger. Our senses are perfectly tailored to what we need to survive, to thrive, and to love. So as you lie there, you can feel the quiet genius of your own being. You are not a creature of magnetic fields, but you are a creature of grace. You are not a creature that sees heat, but you are a creature that feels warmth. You are not a creature that senses electricity, but you are a creature that feels the beat of your own heart. And in these simple, beautiful feelings, there is more than enough to marvel at. The animal kingdom reminds us that nature is a brilliant inventor. It reminds us that our perception of reality is limited by our sensory window. We are looking at the universe through a keyhole, and every other creature is looking through a different keyhole. And in this shared yet different experience of the world, there is a kind of beautiful, universal poetry. And now we arrive at the final destination of our journey. We have traveled far, from the gentle hum of your own body to the exotic senses of creatures on the other side of the world. We have explored the silent languages of balance, the quiet wisdom of your gut, and the fierce protection of pain. But what is all of this for? What is the purpose of this magnificent orchestra of hidden senses? The answer, my friend, is you. They are all here to create a single, unified experience, the feeling of being a self, of being you. As you lie there, you have a clear, unquestioned sense that your body is yours. Your arms are your arms. Your face is your face. This effortless sense of body ownership is not a given. It is a continuously updated mental model built from a chorus of sensory data. Proprioception tells you where your limbs are. Interoception whispers about your heartbeat and your breath. Balance keeps you grounded. Touch anchors you to the physical world. All of these inputs blend into what feels like a single seamless experience. I am in here. This is me. But this feeling, as solid as it seems, is surprisingly fragile. Consider the rubber hand illusion, a famous experiment in psychology. A volunteer places one hand out of sight, while a realistic rubber hand is placed in front of them. If both the real and fake hands are stroked simultaneously, the brain begins to adopt the rubber hand as its own. The volunteer may feel as if the rubber hand is theirs, flinching when it is threatened. Nothing has changed physically, but the sensory cues were convincing enough to trick the brain. This is a common fact in modern psychology, but it's a powerful and humbling one. Your sense of self is a little easier to manipulate than you might think. It's like a well-dressed spy who can change their entire identity just by putting on a new suit. This malleability of the self is not just a lab trick. It happens in our daily lives. Think about how a carpenter's brain extends their sense of self to include their hammer, or how a violinist feels their instrument as a part of their body. This is called tool embodiment, and it shows that your brain is constantly redrawing the boundaries of your body map. It's a beautifully efficient process, allowing you to interact with the world in a more fluid and intuitive way. There is a historical debate that touches on this very idea. For centuries, philosophers like René Descartes drew a firm line between the mind and the body. He famously declared, "I think, therefore I am." This belief, known as dualism, suggested that the mind and body are two separate substances. But modern neuroscience suggests something much stranger. You feel, therefore you are. The raw, often unconscious sensations generated by your internal and external senses form the scaffolding for consciousness itself. The feeling of being alive, of being a person, is deeply rooted in these quiet, physical sensations. A little-known fact that highlights this connection comes from the world of meditation. Studies have shown that people who are more in tune with their internal signals, like their heartbeat or breath, tend to have a more grounded and consistent sense of self. They are also often better at understanding their own moods and reactions. This is a beautiful piece of biological poetry. Your body is not just a container for your emotions. It is a co-creator of them. And this brings us to a profound, unresolved academic debate. Do our hidden senses contribute to a pre-existing sense of self, or do they actively construct the self from the ground up? Some researchers argue that we are born with a basic template for a body map, and that the hidden senses simply fill in the details. Others believe that the self is not a thing, but a process, a dynamic construction that emerges from countless sensory signals integrated into a model that feels stable, even though it's always changing. It's a question that reminds us that the greatest mystery in the universe may not be out there in the stars, but right here, inside you. As you lie there, you can feel the weight of your body on the bed, the gentle rhythm of your breath. You are receiving messages from dozens of senses on the skin, in the joints, and deep inside your organs, and turning them into a unified, seamless feeling of me. This is what the hidden senses teach us. That selfhood isn't a glowing orb in the brain or a fixed point in space. It's a process, a dialogue between the inside and the outside, a dance of chemistry, physics, and perception. It changes when we grow, when we age, and when we dream. So, where do you end? Is it the edge of your skin? Or is it where sensation fades? Or where awareness stops tracking? Maybe it's better to stop looking for the edges. Maybe selfhood isn't a line but a field. Not something that ends, but something that blurs. A field of awareness shaped by signals, stretched by experience, softened by perception. You're not just living in your body. You are your body. And your body, in turn, is not a container. It's a conversation. The hidden senses don't just help you survive. They help you exist. They whisper constantly, "You are here." Not in coordinates, but in warmth, in weight, in balance, in breath, in the deep, quiet knowing of being alive.